Okay, let's get started on this state's capital project. Here's the steps we're going to do. We're going to create a new project. We're going to add a list view to our activity. We're going to add this XML file that will give us all the states and capitals. And then we're going to code our list view, okay? And this will give us the ability to scroll through these states and select a state. And when we click on it, it will actually pop up with what they call a toast, or a little note that will tell us this state's capital is this. And then we're going to add this search menu item, and then we're going to code that menu item, and then we're going to run it. Okay, first of all, let's go over to Android Studio here. We're going to create a new, and we always grab this empty one here. Next, we're going to call this State Capitals, like that, and make sure that these are correct here. Yeah, they are. Java, and yep, there we go. Finish, like that. And here we go. It's running, doing all this stuff in the background here. There we go. I'll tell you what, I put a solid state hard drive in my computer, and this is the most wonderful thing I've ever done for myself. It's really fast, okay? I'm going to grab my activity main right here. I'm going to go my design view. It by default comes with this text boxes. Click on that and hit delete and get rid of that. Now the list view is under what they call legacy items right here. Click on that. I had to scroll up and down to get that. And then my list view, I'm going to take and drag that in here like this. Okay, I want to take and anchor that list view to top, bottom, left, and right like we normally do. And don't forget about the bottom one here. Make them all 0. Just going to drag this down for now. There we go. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to make this 0 DP. 0 DP. If you don't do that, then your search won't work correctly. DP like that. And if we want to give it an ID, we're going to call it list view, little L, capital V, and we're going to say states with an S on the end like that. Good. Let's go ahead and start on some code here, okay? First thing we want to do is we want to create some public variables here. I'm going to make a little remark here. It's going to be public variables. That way we can use these variables throughout all of our methods here and not have to worry about not being available someplace else. The first one we're going to do is we're going to create a list of string, okay? And we're going to call that states, semicolon. Notice we have to take an import. Put your cursor on there, Alt Enter, and it will add it. And also this take and add a list of string, and this is going to be our capitals. And then we're going to create a list view up here because we're going to use it other places. There, right there. And you just call it list view like that, semicolon. And then also an array adapter. This array adapter allows us to connect this list of states to our list view in time. Right there, semicolon. Now we have to get this list of capitals in here, okay? And there's a couple different ways to do this, but I chose to drag this out of here for now. Go to Blackboard for this assignment. Go ahead and right click on this right here, okay? States and capitals.xml. Right click on that, save link as, and I'm going to save mine to my desktop here, like that, and say save. And now when I minimize that, sure enough, here it is right there, okay? Take and drag this back over here again. We're going to take and drag that state capitals into our resources values right here. Go ahead and drag it right in there just like that. Move it to the values. It says you want to do that? Yes. Now if we open up this, we can take a look at it right there. Sure enough, here's our array of all of our states, Alabama, Alaska, and here's the corresponding capitals right here. Wonderful. Close that down. We don't need that anymore. Okay, now let's do something with those states and capitals. Put your cursor right here, enter a couple times. First thing we're going to do is say capitals. Excuse me. We're going to say states right there is equal to, now we want to get that information out of that array. Okay, first of all, we have to say arrays. Dot as list, okay, like that. And get resources. Resources, because now we got to say what resources, dot get string array. And now we can say our dot arrays this time, dot cap states right there, and a semicolon at the end. You can't see that, can you? Let me take and drag it over a little bit for you. There you go, just like that. And that's our states. Let's do the same thing. I'm going to copy that line, paste it here, and make this capitals, and make this one capitals. And that's how we can take those states and capitals from over here and put them now into a nice, what they call is a list. It's actually an array, but array and a list about the same thing, but it's a list of all these different states and capitals. Okay, next thing we're going to do, let's do something with our list view, okay? We're going to say list view is equal to, and of course we have to say list view. We're going to assign that list view to it, or list view states, okay? It's a list view, and we got to find that, okay? View by right there, r.id dot right there, semicolon like that. And then we're going to take and create an array, or do something with our array adapter. We created up here already, so let's use that. Array adapter is equal to, now we're going to say a new here, because we have to create a new object of this array adapter. Array adapter, okay. And then we have to, first of all, give it this. We have to say it's in this context, okay, of this application. This will give you that. And then we're going to say an Android, this you got to type out, .r.layout. Right there it is. And which layout? We're going to say a simple, right there, that list item 1, okay. And then you have to put your, in a comma, and in states, like that. Okay, and then put a semicolon at the end. Let me take and stretch this over so you can see that whole line right there, just like that. So now what it's going to do, it's going to take those states and it's going to put them in an array adapter. And now we can say, okay, our list view, go ahead and dot set adapter. Right there it is, set adapter, and say array adapter right there, just like that. And then that will put this list of states into our list view. You can run it, but let's do just a couple more steps here, okay? And let's take our list view and set an on item click listener, okay? List view dot set on item click listener, that one right there. And then we have to say a new, and this is a little bit different because we're going to say an adapter view right there, and hit enter, and it will pop in all that wonderful stuff for you, okay? Now what we want to do is each time we click on one of those, let's go ahead and grab the name of the state that we click on. So we're going to make a string, state is equal to, and then we're going to say our list view dot get item at position. In which position? We can get the position from right here. It's passed as a parameter here. Oh, split right. And then dot to string. There's a couple different ways you can do this, okay, but I chose to do it by getting the actual item off of there, because that way if we sort them, well, then you can, yeah, let's just stop right there, okay? Quit talking, okay. And then also our string capital is equal to, I'm going to make that nothing, because that way if you get an error in your code and you can't read it, at least you'll see nothing. You won't get a blank nothing, okay? Now let's loop through all of this list, this array up here, okay? Our states, let's loop through that for int x is equal to 0. Some people are probably saying, oh, I know how to do a Java loop. Yep, x is less than our states dot size, like that. So we're going to loop through all those semicolon x plus plus. That makes a nice little loop. You have to put a curly brace at the end of this because that's how you do loops in Java. And we're going to say if states, if that state is equal to the current state in here, states dot get, and get x, okay? X is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to loop through all these states. If that's equal to the state, now you can't say equals here. We have to say dot equals. And that's just another thing that we'll talk about maybe another day. That's equal to that, okay? Then I have to put a curly brace there and hit enter. And then capital is equal to capitals right there, dot get x, okay? Semicolon like that. And so what that will do, that will get that current one. That's be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll get that one in that list of capitals right there. Okay, now let's get out of this loop here and get out of this if statement right here. And now let's create a toast. Okay, toast once again will pop up at the bottom of the screen. You'll see it when you get there, okay? First thing we have to do is we have to say, what is this current application context? It needs to know what application we're running in, okay? So you say get right there, application context, and then comma. Now here we're going to create a big string that's going to pop up in this toast. We're going to say the capital of, and a space right there. And we're going to say, okay, what is the state? Let's put that state right in there, okay? That's a variable that's going to contain the state plus, and then we're going to say is, put some spaces around there to make it look all pretty, okay? And then plus the capital, like that. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to put my cursor right here. I'm going to wrap that because so you can see the whole thing. We got a little error going there because we have to add one more thing, okay? We got to say, okay, how long do we want the toast to show? And we can say that, do that by saying our toast right there dot length, whoop, capital L, length long, okay? And that's how long your toast is going to show. And then we got to say dot show right there, like that. Go ahead and run it. What should happen right now is it should run and you'll see your whole list of all your states. If you click on one, you'll see this capital show up at the bottom. I'll tell you what capital it is. Go ahead and run it. Give yourself a little break. Okay, mine ran. Hopefully yours ran. Now I'm sliding down here to page 8. We're going to add this search menu item, okay, to our Android Studio. And to do that, we're going to take and drag this over a little bit. We got to add to our resources. So we're going to right click on RES resources right here. Right click on that and say a new and a resource file. We're going to call this menu like that. And not values, but we're going to make this a menu type resource file like that. Say OK. Once you're done, it's going to pop up something a little bit like an activity, isn't it? Let me scroll in on this a little bit so we can see it. Okay, like an activity. And we're going to take and we're going to drag a menu item into here like this. and it puts it right down there. We want to say, okay, this menu item ID is going to be called menu underscore item underscore search, like that. We're going to give it a title of search. However, you'll never see that because we're going to end up with an icon rather than the word search. Go ahead and click on this little button right here. Type in search right there and grab the top one. You can double click it like that. Pop in that icon, and now you want to click on this little flag right here. We want this always to show. Watch, it's going to pop it up here in time in just a minute, okay? And what we want to do is we want to collapse the action view because we want to have that search bar take up our whole, right here, this area right here. Collapse action view when we're searching for something, and say apply. And now you're going to see it pops up at here, and also you're going to see it pops up as a magnifying glass, and that's where you're going to see it in your application. Okay, let's write some more code. Scroll this over here so we get a little more size right there. Wonderful. Okay, now put your cursor right here because we want to be outside. We want to be inside of our class, but we want to be outside of the on create right there. Okay, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to take and we're going to add our the code to create our menu. Okay, and I'm going to type this in because this is a little weird the way this works, but we're going to start typing on create OP and select CREATOPTIONS menus, like that. Okay. Excuse me, I got a little cough. Okay, here we go. Start typing on create right there. See, mine popped up already, okay, because I have been using it. And I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to create this whole override. What this does is overrides the on create option menu method, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take and create our menu right here. Oops, don't get rid of that line. Okay, hit enter a couple times, put some space in there. Okay, the first thing we're doing is going to create a menu inflator. Right, there's my menu inflator, and I'm going to call this inflator like that. And that's going to be equal to a get menu inflator, just like that with a semicolon at the end. I'm not sure what that does exactly, okay, but that actually gets this get menu inflator. Evidently, it's a method, okay, that creates it. And now we say our inflator, which we created on the line just above there, okay, dot inflate. Now here we can say r dot menu, and we got dot menu. That's our menu that we created, okay, and we're going to call it menu like that. Okay, and now we're going to say let's create a menu item, okay, because now we're actually going to get that search menu item that we created earlier. Menu item right there, and that's going to be called item, and that's going to be equal to menu dot find item r dot id dot menu. Right there it is, right there. Okay, there's that menu item we created earlier in our menu resource folder. Okay, and now we got to create a search view because we got to take and link that to our excuse me, that's going to create a search view with this memory item. Search view right there. We're going to call that search view. And it's going to be equal to, we got to cast it as a search view. Okay, and that's going to be equal to item dot get action view, like that. Okay, and of course, remember when we selected that back in here, right there, remember that's an action view, okay, right did we do that? Oh, we forgot to. Ooh, bad, bad, bad. Go into your text, okay? I switched over into our menu.xml. I left out something here, okay? I'm going to scroll up in our document here because I actually gave you that one line of code. We forgot to add that, right? Let's see. Right there. Grab that piece of code right there. Okay, we just forgot to tell it. It's an action view class, okay? Very, very important. Program wouldn't have ran without that. What we're going to do is go to our, once again, I'm in our menu.xml, go to the text, and we have to add that here. And when we do, if you go back to design, now it's going to show up right here, okay? There. Whew, our program wouldn't have ran without that, okay? In fact, this code wouldn't have worked without it either. Okay, switch back to your main activity, okay? Get action view, and right there, that's good. And now we're going to say search view. Search view. There's our search view. Dot set. Oh, here's going to set our query text listener, okay? We're going to hit enter there, and it's going to create a, oops, and then we have to say a new and search view right there, and you can hit enter. That's going to create all this code for us right there. What we're going to do is one line of code, okay? Right down here, every time that text changes in our search menu, we're going to do this. We're going to change our array adapter. Okay, dot get filter, dot filter, and we're going to filter on this parameter right here, new text. Right there, like that. Go ahead and run it. Now each time you click on that little search menu item, you'll be able to minimize your amount of states that are in there. I like to type in just a regular A and L, and it'll have just two states that start with A and L. And there you have it. Hopefully your program worked. If not, work on it for a little bit. Maybe you want to send me an email.